in second. Tommy Cherry, Jim Sink, Mike Bucket ran at the top 5. Rusty Wood in the lead here at Southside Speedway for the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series round number 1. Danny Edwards Jr. in second. Third is Phil Warren. Fourth is Greg Edwards. I think.
Yeah, it's Greg.
And it's Chris Dotson. Although I'm not sure.
Rusty Woods, I mean, leading the race here. He got him a good jump.
I'm not sure where anybody is or who's made what. I think everybody's a little confused. Rusty Wood is the leader. He has not pitted. Danny Edwards Jr. has not pitted.
I don't think
Phil Warren has pitted yet.
I know Greg Edwards has pitted.
And Chris Dotson, Tommy Cherry, Mike Lee, they've all pitted.
We need some electronic scoring, big pylon.
Yes.
Be able to tell us the whole thing about it.
Get them some transponders in there so we know where they're
at.
Sure,
score the cars in the parking lot.
Whoa! Uh-oh. Rusty Wood washes way up the track.
Danny got a good run on
it. Turn number 2. Danny's car doesn't look like it's running too bad. A little air conditioned now.
Yeah. It's a skeleton, but it's still getting the job done.
Does that affect you having the sheet metal off there?
I don't think on a track like Southside does.
Well, I think it's like when you're up real high in a tree or on a building or something like that. As long as you don't look down, I think everything will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you don't read the name on the tire.
That's right. I don't want him grinding any sparks or anything on the side of me right there, you know?
Well, he has taken the lead here.
Phil Warren, you know, the bad part is if your car's not working good on the outside of the racetrack, once you get up there, it's like, I guess it's like being in a draft or something. You're going to go to the back. You just don't have a choice.
It's no man's land there.
36 laps are on the board here in our 100-lap feature. And, of course, just like we told, Rusty Wood on the outside getting trained. And just no way to get down. When they're bumper to bumper like that, you just can't force your way in.
Well, you can try. You know, you might find a buddy in there somewhere. You kind of pinch him down a little bit and try to work your way in there, but most of the time that turns out to be there.
Whoa, right there. He was trying to find him a buddy, and Tommy Cherry is not your buddy, Rusty.
Mike Lee gets to the inside of Rusty Wood as well.
But I can understand Rusty's feeling here. I mean, he's just out there. And I mean, we're talking about leading the race 3 laps ago. We're going to go to 10.
Larry Morgan is coming down pit road for Jack and Go.
He's got to be getting highly frustrated by now.
Jim Sink by him. Wayne Patterson by him. Here comes...
Because he's in danger right here. These cars that are coming up behind him have made their stops.
Right.
They're on the tail end of the lead lap here, so he's hurt by this because he's going to come down pit road. He's going to lose a lap.
And Rusty Wood now is slowing down to come down pit road.
Well, and exactly, Mike Lee, we know has already made a green flag pit stop. He was way up there.
So is Chris Dotson and Greg Edwards. Look at the lead that Danny Edwards has. Now, if he comes down pit road, he has an advantage now.
I'm not sure where Danny's at. I don't know if Danny's on. I don't think he's on a lap by himself. I'm not sure.
As far as I know right now, with all the people that have come in, with Rusty Wood coming in, Danny Edwards is on a lap by himself. I'm pretty sure the 47 did come down.
You think 47 came down?
If he might be on. I don't know. Like you said, I have no idea.
I don't remember the 47 coming down. I'm not sure.
Well,
wait a minute. Lap 25. Phil Warren. Look at my notes. Phil Warren came down on lap 25.
So if that's the case,
then Danny is by himself.
Danny is on a lap by himself right now.
But he's on the tail end of that lap.
No, he is on a lap by himself.
Okay, I'll believe you, Dave.
That's the way I score. He's the only one that hasn't come in. Everybody else has to be a lap down.
Right.
Well, at least. Look at Bugs Harefield. He visited pit road. Let's get this out there. He visited pit road. He stayed out several laps. He's 2 laps down, folks. And he's come back out on the track. Took the hood off. I guess the thing it was overheating from the.
I think when he bent the ductwork and everything with the front, so you take the hood off, and that'll get a little bit more air around the radiator and everything.
And right there, folks, is a battle for second. And they're a lap down. Question is, how fast can Danny Edwards get in? If he can get himself a good lead, he's pulling away from Phil Warren and Greg Edwards right now. If he can get a full straightaway, come in, he may come back out in front of him.
Yeah, it just depends on where. I don't think he is
let's just say
I think he is on a lap by himself, but I don't believe he's on a complete lap. Yeah.
No, I think he's a complete lap by himself. Everybody has to be at least one lap down to Danny Edwards right now. He's the only person that has not come down pit road.
Oh, Jim Sink
with a, looks like a flat right front tire. Stuck up on the outside. He'll dive down to the bottom.
Well, we'll let the scorers figure all this out because it's good racing no matter who's on what lap. Nobody really knows. We don't even know. So
that's what this is all about. That's why they had the jack and go. They wanted to mix up the field, let some people lead that haven't led before.
Right.
And really make the driver drive and not save the tires.
It looks like Langley right now. I mean, we got Danny. Oh, here's Danny.
Danny's coming down pit road. He had a full straightaway on the rest of the field, 25 mile an hour, folks, down pit road. This is a battle for the lead now, and whoa, there's a spin. Over.
Oh, hurts
and
Danny.
turn number
that
4.
hurts Danny because he was stuck in the pits.
Guess what, folks? He gets to come back out.
Last completed lap.
Last completed lap, he goes back out front. Yeah. After 53 of 100, Danny Edwards is going to come back out front. We've already been told by scoring. Stay with us. It's confusing to us, but here at Southside Speedway, the round 1 of the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series is underway. 53 laps are in the board. We're just over halfway if you're just joining us. And of course, Southside Speedway in Richmond, Virginia, a 23-car field. We have had some attrition tonight. John Staten already out, several other cars already out, Len O'Neill. So, I mean, it's been a tough race.
Hey, at Southside Speedway, you start this many cars at Southside, and you look at qualifying, you go all the way back to the 14th position. I think the pole run like a 50 or 58, and 14th was like a 77. It's only a third of a mile racetrack. You're only talking about the difference is somebody went 24 feet. That's how far 2/10 of a second will travel you at Southside. That somebody, the pole sitter just ran that 24 foot better than the guy 14th. You only talk about 2/10 of a second. You get them that close and that fast, you're going to have problems.
Well, there you see the tower. That's where we are. Everybody wave. Of course, very cold out here, fans. Very, very cold. And everybody all bundled up. And
wow,
boy, did Danny get a good jump.
Excellent jump. You know,
now what's he going to do? Is he going to try to do what he did last time? Get a good lead, come back in? Because I think it's played into his hands. He's the only one right now on the lap. He's a lap by himself. At least that's what we're being told by score.
Right. If he is, if you can build up a little bit of a lead, maybe get a straightaway or so, then come down pit road, you take the pressure off yourself, making sure you don't speed down pit road. The jack man can get the car jacked up and put you down. And the worst you'll come out is everybody's back apples to apples, and you let everybody back on the lap.
From third on back, race fans, it is stacked up. And Greg Edwards is trying to hold off Chris Dotson, Mike Lee, and Tommy Cherry.
But you look at the inside of Danny's.
And he's dragging.
That's Greg.
You know what? That tire looks like it's going down a little bit.
It may. It's so hard to tell out here. You get so much roll sometimes to the right side of the car.
And his rocker panels
was flattened out. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
think it's flat.
Yeah, you can see how you see the scuff showing up on that sidewall there.
Yep.
Yeah, she's starting.
I'm starting to learn from you guys.
She's going down.
Starting being able to tell this stuff. Chris Dotson is just, I think he knows it. Oh, gets a little tap from Mike Lee.
I'm gonna tell you what, if that right front's flat, I mean, he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't get on the outside of him, Chris.
That's right.
Not when he's got right front going flat.
Mike Lee's going to jump up out there as well.
What's that?
Greg Wisely's going to pull off here and get him a tire, I think.
No?
He's staying out there. He needs the caution.
If you stay out, if you come down pit road, you're going to change your tire, you're going to lose a few laps.
You want to talk about a guy that likes coming from the back of the pack, the 57 of Eddie Johnson, as he battles the number 6 of Mike Lee.
You see this picture right here? These three guys last year went at it all year long last year, and I mean, it's just no different.
Might as well plan on it again this year.
Trading a little paint. Look at Bugs Harefield. He's 2 laps down, guys. But that car's running awful strong. Oh, look at him getting the back of Eddie Johnson.
He's telling Eddie, we got to go.
He's just telling Eddie, I'm here,
I'm 2 down. I got to get my mess out of here.
Yeah.
He says he wants to make up the laps, and of course he keeps getting a little tap. Mike Lee fighting awful hard on the outside in that East Coast Monte Carlo.
Now, you know,
whoa, runs into the side of Mike Lee.
Bug's just trying to create a little excitement out there for the fans.
Let me tell you something. Everybody standing up at caution is out on the track, and it is the number 11 of Chuck Hendrick out in turn number 2. Guess what? And of course, all that work that Eddie Johnson does is all for naught because he goes backwards.
Right.
And guess where Danny Edwards came back out? We're watching the race, and guess what? Danny Edwards come down, did his jack and go, came back out second.
Yep. Now, if you look at Danny's car, look at the front wheels on it when it slides up here. See all that dirt on there? That's all brake dust. That lets you know how much braking you do at Southside. I mean, there we go. That's what Greg Edwards needed to get that tire changed.
And that's what he is doing currently. After 60 laps, Phil Warren is your leader. There you see the top 5. It's going to be a heck of a finish. Stay with us. Phil Warren with the lead here at Southside Speedway. Danny Edwards second. Chris Dodson, Mike Lee, and Eddie Johnson round at your top 5. Bugs Harefield is the 6th car in line, but he is 1 lap down. 6th is Tommy Cherry as the green flag is back out once again here in the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series round number 1, brought to you by East Coast and Coca-Cola. I'm confused, guys. But hey, it's probably one of the better races I've seen.
Yeah, I thought I had it figured out under commercial, but I've lost it.
Yeah, it's hard. It's confusing, I think, to everybody.
Well, the fans are on their feet.
I think Danny Edwards is actually the leader. And Phil Warren is on the end of the lead.
Jim Sink brings out another caution.
I think I think he should have come all the way around.
Come all the way around the track.
I think.
Our 9th caution of the evening, run out by Jim Sink as he just looped it. No harm, no foul.
But it's one of these deals, you know, trying to keep track of these green flag pit stops. I mean, it's just like a Winston Cup thing, but they have a whole, you know.
Well, they've also got a score per car.
But it's done what it's meant to do, and that is make these guys race, and it is one of the best races I have seen as far as 100% all out. You know, let's go for it. I know maybe being a little confused, and that you there in TV land may be a little confused at who's where and why and how, but I tell you what, the bottom line is that they're racing, they're putting on a show.
Right.
And this is what it's all about.
Well, I agree with it. We just need to do a few changes in order to.
They could have done it under yellow.
Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, the drivers voted for this confusion. So
I would have probably been the only one. I wanted to do it.
Not all of them. I don't think everybody voted, but it was a large group of them.
I talked to a couple people who said we voted not to have it at all.
Right.
That would have been.
But if you look around the Mid-Atlantic area, every track is doing it.
They're doing something. Either they're coming down, inverts, something to make it interesting.
It was either this, or if you win 2 races in a row, you start no closer than 8. So what do? You know? Green flag is back out, and Phil Warren going to get it done here. Danny Edwards right behind him as you see the field file through the speed shot.
The problem you have is the cars are so close and so fast, you need to jumble them up, or they just. The racing's not good for the fans. It's kind of like follow the leader to an extent, and the same guys will always win the same races.
Nobody wants to see someone win 13 races in a row. Now, Greg,
if I was driving, I want to win 13 in a row.
Or if I owned it.
Well, if I'm a promoter, I got to do something to make these people come out there and say.
Look at Bugs Harefield. Getting under Eddie Johnson.
Look at Mike Lee help Chris Dodson.
Look at Danny Edwards trying to help Phil. Well, look at that thing. Ooh, get a little loose out there. Now, he did get loose. I saw the tires good.
Right. Well,
now, you watch Chris Dodson and Mike Lee go at it. They're putting on a show right here. Now, Bugs is going to get his.
Tommy Cherry, Mike Buffkin. Mike Buffkin has been showing some steam of late. Of course, a lot of damage on the defending champions car as they battle for 6th. Him and Tommy Cherry.
Ooh.
Whoa, there goes
Chris Dodson. Look like
oh, no wonder he's got in the back of Chris Dodson, Mike Lee getting together. Eddie Johnson just drives under both of them and takes the spot.
Chris Dodson looked like he had a problem though, because he slowed down quite a bit the last couple laps.
I mean,
hey, slowing down, everybody's passing.
look at Tommy Cherry's car. He's just got a little dent there on the left front. You look at Richard Jarvis's car, hardly any damage. And this is the first time they've been here. The first time I ran around this racetrack, I think it tore my mess all up. I mean,
of course, Chris started in mini stock, and of course, Frank started at late model here at this track. So this is kind of a homecoming for all of us. And Mike Lee trying to hold off Tommy Cherry. And you got to give Tommy Cherry,
I mean, he's getting around this place.
all the respect in the world. Bugs Harefield is just flying through the field. He has got the fans on their feet. Look, he's to the inside.
You can put all 100 laps right there on that 04 and watch Bugs come through this field. It's the most. You need to do yourself a favor and come out here and watch him.
Outside.
Man is just. He can get around this racetrack. I mean, that's Eddie knowing that Bugs is a couple laps down. He knows what he's got when he races with Bugs, and Bugs is going to make those openings, and he's going to carry him right to the front of the field.
You know, Eddie may have let him get by early.
Sure. Why not? He's not. All he's going to do is help you. Bugs can come in and do the dirty work. He can get the guy up the racetrack or get you a better position, make your job passing people a whole lot easier. Chris Evans
and Greg Edwards. Chris Evans is the odd man out here. I just don't figure out where he,
Well,
I don't know whether he got lost in the shuffle or what, but he was one of the first ones that came out. He came into pits for a jacket go, and he was one of the first ones to come out.
He came down with Richard and Mike Lee and
Greg Edwards.
Greg Edwards,
Mike Lee. Richard Jarvis didn't come down that time.
Did?
But it was Mike Lee,
Greg Edwards,
Chris
Dodson,
and Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, the four cars. Bugs Harefield's made up a lap, guys. He's only one lap down now. Yeah. We have a battle for ninth.
Oh, here you go, battle for ninth.
According to scoring, this is a battle for ninth. Chris Evans on the outside in the number 92. To the inside is the number 97. And, of course, that is Greg Edwards, the 1998 Langley champion.
Now, you're talking about somebody getting lucky. I don't believe Greg had lost a lap, did he?
No, he did not.
He stayed out long enough. Caution came out.
Whoa!
Oh, Jim Sink.
Jim Sink.
Yeah, just a little loose up off the corner.
Well, here's a battle for the lead, and to the outside is the 57 of Eddie Johnson.
Now, this is something to watch right here. This man can get it done on the outside.
Look at him just drive up off the corner.
Oh, we got a caution.
They had a caution out.
I was going to say, Phil didn't go.
Caution number 10.
None of that Ford's good, but...
Yeah, not that good.
According to NASCAR, it is for fluid on the track. They want to check the track for safety. And they say it's coming from Mike Buffkin's car.
If that Ford was that good, I was going to go drive a Ford later.
Wow. I'm going to tell you.
He jumped off the corner. That is for sure. As you see the new tech building over at 3 and 4.
Yeah, I was studying that earlier. That thing's pretty nice looking.
It's strategically put. There's a lot of improvements planned for Southside Speedway.
Well, I want to tell you what, the lights are an improvement. And they didn't do anything else but the lights. That's great.
I like the lights.
Look at the building. I mean, a little VIP building over there.
VIP building over in turn number 2. They have new swings for the kids.
I like the rumple strips here too instead of the dirt. I love that.
Phil Warren with the lead. Eddie Johnson in second. At least that's what we're being told as Mike Buffkin comes down pit road. Interesting evening, folks. And we got a lot more coming your way. After 75 of 100, we got 25 laps left. There's your top 5. We'll have the end of the race for you here very shortly. And we're back to Southside Speedway, round 1 of the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series. And there's your defending champion as they pour water on the radiator. This looks pretty terminal, guys.
Yeah, he's already, they're going to try to cool it down and get him going there, but. Oh.
Steam coming off the overflow.
She's so hot, starter won't even crank it. Got to push him off. There we go. Oh.
And
no, we're running.
Wait a minute, we're running.
They'll get it running and pour some more water over, try to get it cooled down to where they can make a few more laps, but it doesn't look good.
Tough way to start to defend your title. That's $10,000 on the line for the champion here.
Yeah, but you're coming to Southside Speedway, and he didn't do anything wrong. He just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
I like that they've done this at 2 tracks.
Oh, yeah.
The champion is really going to be the one that did it the best.
Yeah, it's one that
one can adapt between the 2 tracks. The green flag back out is Phil Warren. followed by Eddie Johnson, Danny Edwards Jr., Mike Lee, and Tommy Cherry, your top 5.
But running this series like this between the 2 tracks and having 10 races, you bring your best stuff for 10 races and you find out, you know, you do everything you can do.
8 races.
No, I'm sorry, 8.
Ooh, and Eddie Johnson jumped to the outside already.
Well, Phil Warren was protecting the inside, but Eddie is going to jump out here and go for it. What we also failed to mention is that the 2 tracks, if you win both track titles, $100,000 bonus, folks. $100,000 bonus. And a fan, I think it is $25,000. If someone does it, they're gonna have places where you can sign up. So if I were you, I'd keep an ear low to the ground, $25,000, because the one in the 57 and the 47, they got a real good chance at doing it.
Bill Warren's won his fair share of races, you know, at Langley, and has won at Southside when he won the regional championship.
There's a battle for third as Mike Lee is on the outside trying to take it away from Danny Edwards Jr. Looks like he's got it completed.
See, Mike learned that, I think, last year, because I think he got beat quite a few times on that outside. And Eddie, you know, they just show you how you have to run on the outside of the racetrack. You watch, like watching Bugs and watching Mike and all these guys, that's what it's going to take here to be that competitive.
Again, look at Jarvis. Jarvis is strong. This is a battle for 5th, guys. And Jarvis down on the bottom. He looks like he run Tommy up just a little bit. About a half a groove.
Yeah.
Tommy looks like he's giving him plenty of room, trying to beat him on the outside.
You saw Richard when he got in the corner there. It was like going to brake a little bit hard.
That's what short track racing is all about. A little trading the paint.
As I said before, full content.
I'm going to tell you, you just don't know how hard that is right there. I mean, to drive down that corner with somebody on that, being outside or inside.
Oh, look at that. Give him a little
Tommy
push.
Cherry's not afraid to help him back a little bit.
83 laps on the board of 100. 17 laps remaining. Coming down to the money laps.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, they ought to pay per lap here because, I mean, you just have to work. I mean, watching these 2 guys right here just work their butts off.
Man, you guys can say what you want, but there has not been a lap where I haven't seen somebody racing side by side.
No, you're always side by side with somebody.
The fans, whether it be cold outside and windy, have gotten their money's worth tonight. Bugs Harefield is trying to come back to the front.
Hey, I mean,
he just doesn't have enough laps.
I think Bugs has passed, you know, 50 race cars tonight. I mean, he's come from the back, he's made up a lap, and he's coming back through the field again. I mean, it just...
I think he's just trying to work off some of that frustration that was happening at the beginning of the race.
If he was on the same lap, that would have been for 9th. Greg Edwards is in 9th place now. Rusty Wood is in 8th. You see Chris Dodson in the 0. He's in 7th.
But you know, when you notice Bugs, when he'll run up on a car, he passes them where they're giving him the opportunities to pass at. If the car shows that he can beat him on the inside, he does it. If he has to go on the outside, he just drives the car up there and gets around him. It's just whatever it takes to get around him. And you cannot be choosy when you want to pass somebody here.
Here at Southside Speedway, Eddie Johnson, once he gets out front, he pretty much checks out, as you see him pulling away from Phil Warren. And Mike Lee is trying to get by Phil Warren for second. He is working to the outside, to the inside, you name it.
But all this right here helps. When you can drive around this racetrack by yourself and nobody pushing you, it just makes your job that much easier. When Mike starts looking inside of Phil and starts moving him around a little bit, that might be a 1/10 of a second right there.
It's just making life easier for Eddie Johnson.
Sure, that 1/10 of a second that you give the man on a racetrack like this helps a ton.
Well, they still are continuing to do battles. The best battle on the track, unless you talk about Bugs Harefield.
Well, I mean,
coming through the rear of the field. He's got the fans on their feet because they think he's going to get to the front. Maybe a caution might help him. He gets a few more positions, but he's still a lap down. So he still has to make up 1 lap.
I mean, he's a one-man show right now. He has just come through his field. I mean,
Phil Warren looks like he separated himself with about a car length, maybe a car length and a half, as Eddie Johnson in control here at Southside Speedway.
But see, when Eddie's able to run like that, he doesn't bind the car up. He drives his line. He saves his tires a little bit. when you're racing for position, your tires are hot. You got to wear the car down to get by these people. When you get to a guy that hasn't bound the car up and just been able to run his line, his car's a whole lot fresher.
5 to go, guys. 5 laps to go. Make it 4 as he comes out of turn number 4 here. Eddie Johnson with a comfortable lead.
Eddie Johnson's got the thing back in like a recliner right now.
You got it.
Relax. Watching everybody else sweat.
Mike Lee looking to the inside. Phil not giving him the inside line. He's going to have to go to the outside if he's going to get position here for a second. And we're getting close to the end of the race. These are the money laps.
Jumping up there. Mike's jumping up there. Mike just doesn't seem like he gets a good enough bite up on the outside. He can't quite get his car. Once he does get a turn, he can't get a forward bite on the outside.
It's a hard thing to do.
He's trying again.
Right there, right in the center of the corner. He just can't get enough momentum to get by.
It's real hard to jump on the outside of somebody at this point in the race. Your tires have already been worn down, and it's just...
One to go, folks. One to go. The white flag is out.
You're already hanging on.
Yep.
Eddie Johnson ended the 1998 campaign with a Mid-Atlantic Championship Series victory on TV. He'll start the season off as well. He comes home the winner here in round at number 1. Phil Warren holds on for second. Mike Lee for third. Danny Edwards for fourth, and Tommy Cherry. No, it was Richard Jarvis rounding out the top 5. As you see, Phil Warren congratulating the winner, Eddie Johnson. Again, I think that you look around the stands here, no one's left.
No.
There's a good 5,000 people here. There's more people here than I've seen in a long time.
Last time I remember this many people here is the night they had a 300 lapper when Roy Hendrick lapped the entire field.
Think about some of the drivers that have taken this lap. Sonny Hutchins, Tommy Ellis, Bill Dennis, Roy and Ray Hendrick, Ted Harefield, Eddie Kraus, Richard Petty, Jeff Bodine, Darrell Waltrip. Boy, the list goes on and on and on.
The funny thing is you can come out to the racetrack and you still see Ted. Eddie Kraus is still out here, and Cal Johnson. I mean, Sonny Hutchins makes an appearance every now and then. Emmanuel Savakis.
Yep.
I mean, the history of this racetrack's got. It's so nice to see Wayne White come back here and just help out and clean this place up and make it what it is.
Guys, I know this was confusing probably to us a little bit with scoring, but if you look at the way it was set up, what it was meant to do, you know, it's very interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean it's made it exciting.
Yeah, I thought it was a good race, you know, and Eddie Johnson tonight did have the fastest car, and he ended up the winner either way you look at it.
Now, some of these guys had probably a better chance than others. I mean, Eddie Johnson, Danny Edwards have crews that have Busch experience. So when it comes to a jack and go, obviously they have a little bit more experience. Someone that has a 1-pump jack compared to a 3 or 4 or 5-pump jack is going to have a little experience. They might have to experiment with the rules, make everybody use the same type jacks. But overall, what would Chris, you'd say this race was all about?
Just really working hard and making sure when you come to a race with this much publicity and it has the television coverage and everything, you got to make sure your car is prepared and that you're mentally prepared to run this race, physically prepared to run this race.
Right.
I think it was good. You know, I kind of like the idea of the pit stops if we can figure out how to do them just a little bit better, because it involves the crews. And I know the guys on the crews get pumped up when that race car comes down pit road and they got to jack it up. I think that was a good added bonus.
Well, Chris, Frank, I want to thank you guys for your excellent commentary tonight. You add a lot to this. We got to go down trackside now, because guess what? We got Eddie Johnson with Jerry Reed.
On it. Eddie Johnson, your crew made the right calls. You drove your heart out. I mean, it was confusing for everybody, but I guess you knew when you made that green flag pit stop that other people had their pit stops to make, so that put you in the catbird seat.
Well, I don't know. You know, it seemed like it got so confusing there that nobody really knew who was leading the race or who the pace car was supposed to pick up or anything. And, excuse me, you know, just creates a big mess, and then I don't know what all it does for the fans. I don't know that they can keep a consensus of who's leading or who's doing what, and, you know, I'm afraid somebody's going to get hurt in the pits, but they may make the rules. We'll come out here and we'll try to do the best we can with them, but I'd like to thank Ash and Ford. We got a new sponsor, Casa Grande Restaurant. Their first come on this race for us. Be here all year. We got a first win for them. Townsend Racing Products, Performance Counts Motors, Swisher Hygiene, Gray Ball Electric Company. All the guys on the crew for hanging in there and working hard all winter long. You know, and it's just a team effort here. It's not just one person, it's a whole team effort, and I'm proud of all of them.
Well,
I'm also proud of Coleman Rice for giving me this opportunity.
99 starts off on a good note for you. Mid-Atlantic Championship Series, you win the first race. There's only going to be 7 or 8 of them. Plus, you got a chance at that $100,000 for the double track championship. I mean, you're the man right now.
Well, I tell you, it's awful great to get a win the first of the year and get it behind you. We've been, I think this is either 15 or 16 years running where we've won at least one race every year. So it feels good to get that first one, and, you know, all the guys are working hard. And we're going to keep working hard to try and win as many races as we can here and at Langley.
Eddie Johnson, one happy man. Guys, there's your winner. Hi, Phil. Seven, congratulations. The scoreboard says you finished second. I doubt seriously anybody knew where you actually were going to finish till it was over.
I tell you, it was all confused up all through the middle of the race. I felt like Danny should have had a lap on the field when he was in front, and we should have been running second, but they never put my number on the board. And finally they got it straight, and when he pitted, it worked out where I got back out in front, and we struggled all day with a loose problem, but we made changes before the race, and it helped quite a bit. And as the race went, we really, the pit stop, somehow we gained track position. I'm not sure how, you know, who knows how. Maybe I got in better or something, but I tell you, I probably need to thank Henry's Enterprise, Langley Mobile Homes, Wards Corner Amoco, Norfolk Paint Company, Charlie Hire Racing Engines, Hitchcock Race Cars, a lot of people that helped me out, and I tell you, I'm glad to be here. And like I said, I don't think we had a good car, but once we got track position, we were able to stay up near the front. And you come down here and beat Eddie and Bugs at this place. It's the first time I've been here in 2 years, so I'm happy to be here.
All right, Phil Warren is happy to be here. Hard-fought second-place finish. Maybe he didn't know he was going to finish in second because the scoring was kind of funky, as we put it. Hey, Mike Lee, nobody really knew how the scoring was going to shake out on this. You just had to drive your heart out, make your pit stop, and hope for the best. But you ended up third, and it was a tough battle, evidently.
Yeah, I tell you, it was a mess. We never knew where we were. We didn't know if we were third or a lap down or what. We just run as hard as we could run all night and pass every car we could pass and hope for the best.
Well, that looks like what everybody did.
That's all you could do. I hope they learn by this. This is not going to work at this racetrack.
Well, they probably have a different opinion. Who knows? I mean, nobody left the stands until this race was over.
Oh, I don't blame them. I'd have like been up there watching too. I mean, it was a crash fest. I mean, if you keep the good cars up front and then lap cars in the back, we'll have a better show than this right here.
All right, Mike Lee, happy with third, but he also has his opinion on the green flag pit stops. Danny Edwards Jr., I want to tell you, that's one nasty-looking race car, but you did manage to come home fourth, but I bet you didn't know you were in fourth until you got there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't really know. I don't think anybody knew what was going on tonight, but what helped us out there is when we did pit, we were leading the race, and Phil was second, but he was a lap down because he had made his pit. And when I came in, I had gotten a little bit of a lead on the field, and I came in. When I came back out, I came out right behind Phil, so that put me in the same lap with Phil in second. So I was like, hey, this is good. You know, we didn't plan our strategy that way, but I tell you what, it sure worked out. It wasn't looking good in the beginning because we got hung up in somebody else's mess down here and tore the side up pretty good and messed up the front end. But actually, after we got some laps going on and it started running a little bit better, and I tell you what, I'm disappointed we tore it up, but I'm glad we finished, and at least this gets us off on the right foot for the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series, and it wasn't looking good there in the first 10 laps. So I got to thank my sponsors, Samson Monarch, PPG, Danny's Glass, MK Taylor Jr. Contractors. All the guys on this team did a tremendous job today, and I want to thank all the guys on my brother's team. They helped out a lot, too. We're a little short-handed right now, so big thanks go out to everybody involved, and I don't know. We'll see next time.
It's obvious aerodynamics don't count for nothing at Southside Speedway.
I don't know, but the body sure does keep the rocks out of your face. So it was getting pretty nasty in there with that tire kicking up rocks in your face. But no, I guess it doesn't make a whole lot of difference.
Richard Jarvis, have yourself a drink, clean yourself off, and tell me where you finished. I think it was fifth.
I don't really know for sure. I know we were at least fifth. I guess the scoring after the race, we'll find that out. But we had a pretty good run for the first time here. We were a little tight in the beginning of the race, But for the first time here, we didn't know what to expect on a long green run, and we had a pretty good run. And I got to thank Purnell Jarvis Builders and Synergen Racing Oil, Shape Performance Automotive, and Tony Falk Competition Engines, and Childress Race Cars for having a good team this week.
It's a tough racetrack, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a tough place, and it's tough to get around and pass.
You did a good job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it for round 1 of the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series. It started at Southside Speedway. It started with green flag, mandatory pit stops. A lot of people were confused. A lot of people had different opinions, but nobody left the stands until this thing was over.
Thanks, Jerry. Here you see the unofficial round 1 finishing orders. Eddie Johnson with the win. Tommy Cherry with a good run, finishes 6th. And Rusty Wood rounds out the top 8. Greg Edwards, the Langley champion, 9th. Jim Sink rounds out the cars, Chuck Hendrick rounds out the cars on the lead lap. Bugs Harefield 1 lap down. And of course, Mike Buffkin in 16th, the defending champion. There you see the rest of the top 23 as we finish round 1 here of the Mid-Atlantic Championship Series. And what a great race we had. A lot of people we like to thank the fine folks here at Southside Speedway, Wayne Wyatt and all his staff. They have made us feel so welcomed here. We appreciate it. There you see the jubilation, of course, in the pits for Eddie Johnson, who will start round 2 with the points lead here in this televised 8-race series. And of course, we'll be back once again. Next race will be at Langley Speedway. So I'd like to thank some other fine folks. The rental store, Carter Cat, Chesapeake, Richmond, and Roanoke, for supplying us with the platforms and the generator. And of course, aerial photography, brought to you by Crow's Nest Photography. Well, we have a lot of people that work on this show, and all of them are very important. We want to thank every one of them. For Jerry Reed, for Chris Phelps, for Frank Daney Jr., I'm Dave C. saying until next time, good racing.